Hi, everybody. We're going to be doing Q.8, which is evaluate a function, plug in an expression. Now, I suspect that this is about composition of functions, but we'll take a look. I haven't done the preview, so it'll be a surprise. Let's see how it looks. Sure enough, composition of functions. Interesting. Okay, so what they want me to do is they want me to evaluate g of 9b. So instead of p, we're going to put 9b. And since we know that g, there's quite a bit of change going on here, g of p is equal to 6 times p minus 3. And notice what they did. Instead of p, they put g, they chose an odd variable there, b. So instead of p, I'm going to put 9b. So we have 6, and instead of p, we're going to substitute 9b. I have to put a little tail on it, but the minus 3 is still there. So notice what's happening. We have to simplify the expression, which is going to give us 54b minus 3. This is sometimes called a composition of functions, but in this particular case, we're just evaluating for an expression. 54b minus 3. I don't think I have to put the spaces anymore. Nope. All righty then. Now this time, instead of v, we're going to put m plus 8. So I'm going to put it over here so you can see it a little better. 3 times v minus 3. That's what we have. And the m plus 8 is going to be replacing the v. It's important that you distribute the 3 to both parts. So we have 3m plus 24 minus 3, which is 3m plus 21. And this is equal to g of m plus 8. All right. 5c minus 10. So we're going to take 5 times n minus 5 minus 10. And we're going to distribute the 5 to both parts. I know it doesn't seem like it, the arrows are important, but what happens is people who see this, you multiply the 5 times the n and you swear, you know you're going to distribute it. And by the time you get down there and you've multiplied the 5n, you totally forget what you were doing. So just be careful. Sorry, I made a mark there by accident. It's 10, which is 5n minus 35. We have a negative 7z. So we're just talking about negative 7z. Oh, no, we're not. Okay, so I got to be careful. Negative 7 times z. And z is going to get replaced with w plus 9. And that's going to be negative 7w minus 63. You could put plus negative 63. It's the same thing, but I'm just going to use the subtraction. Negative 7w minus 63. Looks good. In this case, we're going to substitute the negative 3a instead of the x. So we've got negative 3a plus 5. That's it. The parentheses are not needed. In this one, we're going to replace the q with negative c minus 6. So negative c minus, oops, what's wrong with me? I said negative c, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. Negative c minus 6 minus 6. I can see why people might mess this up. This ends up being negative c minus 12, doesn't it? So be careful. Let's see now. 7y minus 10. See, that 10 gets confusing because you see the 10 and you see the 10 and you just think, I'll just put it however. We want to put 10 times a, which is going to get replaced with 7y minus 10 minus 3. And you have to distribute and subtract the 3. So I'm going to do it all in one step. That's going to be 70y. This would be minus 100, but it's going to be minus 103. And I'm done. Negative, oh, no negative. It's just 70y minus 103. Make sure I have the same thing. That looks good. This one we're going to put the m minus 7 instead of the v. So we have m minus 7 minus 9 because the v is getting replaced with the m minus 7, which is m minus 16. In this one, oh, we get a square. Interesting. I didn't think they had done these yet, but some of you have done your binomial multiplication, so it's a little bit different. This one is going to be replacing the v with s minus 9. And you're supposed to simplify the answer. Well, when you multiply s minus 9 times itself, hopefully some of you know the rule for this. S minus 9 times s minus 9 is s squared. That's the first times the first. You have to make sure you multiply every term by every other term. Most people think of it as FOIL, outer and inner pairs. The outer pair is going to be minus 9s. The inner pair is going to be minus 9s. And the last, that's the L part, is going to be negative 9 times negative 9, which is 81. And so we're going to get s squared minus 18s plus 81. So hopefully you've done polynomials before. If you haven't, there it is. And we're going to have to add the 7 to the 81. So it's going to be s squared minus the 18s. And notice I'm going to add the 7 to this just so that I, because I am adding the 7 here. And that's going to be 88, isn't it? Let's see if it likes that. Oops, gotta put this thing. Nope. This, there we go. Minus 18s. And then we have the plus 88. It's probably going to like that, I think. Yep. Oh, okay. Now this one's a little bit better. This one you probably already know how to do. This is going to be negative 8b. We're going to replace the u with that. We're going to square it, and we're going to add 10. So that's going to be negative 8b times negative 8b, which is positive 64b squared. The plus 10 is still there. Looks good. We have a negative 8y. Looks like they like that negative 8 for some reason. But notice that I have it in two different places. You need to substitute the negative 8y for t here and here. So make sure you put it in both places. This is going to be 64y squared. People who grab their calculator and push the buttons and they put this in their calculator, they're going to get negative 64, which is not the same as what's there because that negative 8 is inside parentheses. So be careful. Calculators aren't always right, especially if you put the wrong question in. This is going to be plus 24y, isn't it? So we've got 64y squared plus 24y. It's nice that they give you that little square key. Makes it easy. All right, what do we got here? We have 3x. So we're going to take 3x squared minus 10 times 3x. That's going to be 9x squared minus 30x. That's it. 9x squared minus 30x. Looks good. This one is going to be u squared, but this time we have to take the v plus 2. I'm going to show you a slightly different way to do this. This v plus 2 squared, again, you're going to be tempted to try to distribute the square. You can't do that. What you can do, though, is you can take v plus 2 times v plus 2. Now, in a lot of ways, this is like multiplying 12 times 12. And I'm going to show you what I mean. When I multiply 12 times 12, I multiply the 2 times the 2 and get 4. And I multiply the 2 times the 10, and I really get 20, don't I? Do you see what I mean? Because when I write down this 2, it's not really 2. I'm really talking about 20. And when I multiply this 10, this 1 times this 2, I'm not really multiplying 1 times 2, because that's why we have that 0 right there, right here. There's a 0, isn't there? And the 1 times the 2 is really 20. So the 0 goes in the 1's place, and the 20 is 10 times 2. And then I'm not multiplying 1 times 1, I'm really multiplying 10 times 10, which is 100. So what I did, and I'm going to show you this in the v plus 2 times v plus 2. So let me do the same thing, v plus 2 times v plus 2. So I'm going to multiply the 2 times the 2, which is 4, and this v times the 2, which is 2v, and then I'm going to multiply this, sorry, my bad. Hang on, let me fix this. Being dumb here. V plus 2. So I'm going to multiply the 2 times the 2 and get the 4. Then I'm going to multiply this 2 times the v, and I'm going to get 2v. Then I'm going to put the plus 0. Then I multiply the v times the 2 and get 2v. And then I'm going to multiply the v times the v and get v squared. And then I add them up. That is the same as multiplying everything times everything else. You all learned FOIL. First is v times v, which is v squared. The outer is v times 2 plus 2v. The inner is plus 2v. And the last is the 2 times the 2. And that, of course, is v squared plus 4v plus 4. Sorry, I didn't mean to mess that up. There you go. V squared plus 4v plus 4. And we're done. Need to make sure you have that middle term. B minus 8. Okay, so let's see. B minus 8 times, it's being squared. So we're talking about B minus 8 times B minus 8. Notice we have B squared minus 8B minus 8B plus 64. So our middle term is minus 16B. So we have B squared minus 16B.
Hey.
Hi.
Mr. Jameson, have a great day, sir.
Thank you.
Friday.
Thanks, you too. 64, and we're done. There it is. Okay, we have W squared. This time we're just going to square it. I'm just going to multiply in my head. Negative 4C times negative 4C, which is 16C squared. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, negative 6J. Now we're going to substitute it into this. This is called a polynomial. This happens to be called a quadratic too, because it has a second degree term in it. So we're going to take the negative 6J and we're going to put it in instead of the D and square it. Then we're going to take 2 times negative 6J, and then we're going to add 2. Notice I just put the negative 6J instead of D. So this is going to be 36J squared plus, oops, minus, sorry. I want to keep I prefer subtraction instead of minus. Subtract 12J plus 2. This is our new polynomial. So we have 36J squared minus 12J plus 2. And there we go. Let's see what we got here. We're going to square it, so we're going to get 9s squared. There it is. This time we're going to put in 10y. So we're going to take 10y squared minus 7 times 10y. So you're going to get 100y squared minus 70y. And there you go. Another polynomial. We're going to substitute this instead of r. So we have negative 8q squared plus 4 times r, but it's really negative 8q minus 10. So we've got 64q squared. We've got minus 32q minus 10. There you go. We're getting there. 64q squared minus 32q minus 10. Hopefully only 3 or 4 more. All right, I'm going to do this one in my head. I'm going to get 81. Looks like p squared minus 4. All I did was square this guy and then subtract 4. Got it? Notice that a negative 9 times a negative 9 is positive 81. This one, trick. It's a trick. Watch out. There's no variable. If h of d is equal to negative 8, h of anything is equal to negative 8. This is called a constant function. We always get the same thing out. Trick, trick, trick. Watch out. They'll get you, especially in the challenge zone. Okay, this time we're going to put in the 4s. They're going to try and get you every way they can. S squared plus 10 times 4s minus 9. So I'm just going to do it in my head. I get 16 s squared plus 40s minus 9, isn't it? Let's just double check it here. 16s squared plus 40s minus 9. Looks good. Man, they're going to make me do a bunch of them. All right. Oh, this one's a tough one. So this time we have u plus 2 squared plus 6 times u plus 2 plus the 3. That's going to be u squared plus 4u plus 4. If you need to, do it on the side. That part is the squared trinomial. By the way, if you ever square a binomial, you always get a trinomial, just so you know. I'm going to distribute my 6, which is 6u plus 12, and then I'm going to add my 3. So that part got distributed, and I have to add up all my common terms. I have a u squared all by itself. I have 4u and 6u, which makes 10u. And I have 4, 12, and 3, which makes 19, doesn't it? That's it. U squared. Oops, can't see it anymore. Well, I know it's plus 10u plus 19. Looks good. Should have written it where I could see it. Another trick question. If g of w is 4, g of everything else is 4. Just 4. Wanted to make sure it wasn't a mistake. Nice, easy one. Called a constant function. This one's a little tougher, but I can probably do it in my head. I'm just going to put in the negative 2t, and I'm going to square it. I'm going to get 4t squared. Then I'm going to multiply it by 7. I'm going to get minus 14t, and then I'm going to add the 5. Okay? Hopefully that's okay. And in this one, a nice constant function. Don't let them trick you. Negative 8. F of anything is negative 8. And it looks like we probably have 2 more. Oh, 10v. You can probably distribute this in your head. It's 10w plus 90. I just distributed the 10 to both parts, okay? And we have one last one, and then we'll be to our mastery. I hope you guys will try it. I'm just going to do it in my head. It's going to be 100p squared plus 10, isn't it? And I hope you guys will do yours, and I'll see you back again. 20 minutes, not so bad. Bye.